We outside, y'all. Yeah. Yeah. We outside. Sad. That's what we do. That's what we do. We outside. Sad. Y'all, giving y'all a few minutes to get in the building. Yeah. Giving y'all a moment to get in the building. We back, y'all. You know, it's never not a time that we have to jump into some spiritual tea. There's never not a time that we have to jump into some spiritual tea, y'all. We jumping into a lot more these days. Spiritual tea, lectures, book club, dark divine feminine, more lectures to be coming soon. Teachings coming soon. It's just a lot. Things coming down the line. Things coming down the line. What's up, y'all? God bless you. God bless you. Hello. Hi. Y'all let a few more people get in the building. While we heat it up. If you have not, go ahead and join the Princess Sanctuary. That's the other channel that I have. Pretty Princess Promises and Prosperity Petitions. Just a Princess Sanctuary, a place for soft divine feminine energies to just be. It's just relaxing. It's all about manifestation on that channel. Manifestation, ascension. Okay. Also, if you have not joined the other channel that I am still building, that is the QHW 2026, which you can find linked at the top of this channel. That is going to be where we ultimately have more of our Queen's teachings. And if you have not already checked out the first Queen's teachings that we did, is on the channel. We get into some stuff, girl. We get into the harem economy. We get into valuing yourself, learning how to reserve your feminine resources, understanding that femininity is a luxury energy that must be protected and only given to those that give back. We talked about the business of femininity. Girl, we talked about all of that good tea. I would love for y'all to check that out. Don't forget to like the video if you are in the room. Like the video, share, subscribe if you just got here, girl. Hey, all right. Thank you so much for the rose, boo-boo. Charisma. Appreciate you, girl. All right. So let's first jump into where spirit took me that led us here and talk about how this is affecting the collective. So we have a lot of this going on, y'all. And it's actually not just masculines. It's karmic, look, the devil don't want me talking about this message tonight. It's karmic feminines as well. We know this from the book of Daniel. For anybody that's read the Bible, this is where this energy is coming from. This is the energy that comes against divine energy. It comes against divine leadership energy. Baby, they want to audit your spirit the way they audited David. This masculine, this person, this karmic energy was coming up against you. This person wanted to audit you. Somebody saw your glory. Somebody saw the way you were walking in righteousness. Somebody saw the way that you were carrying yourself. You have a lot of spiritual gifts, divine. You have the ability to speak truth. You have the ability to foretell truth. You also have the ability to remain separated from a lot of foolishness. Somebody has a really beautiful divine kind of halo over you that just keeps you away from certain misery, certain chaos, certain demonic energies. Don't forget to like the video, y'all. Certain demonic energies, or like the live, okay? Certain demonic energies. Somebody, this is a masculine energy, y'all. This is a karmic energy more than anything. This was an energy that was very jealous. Very jealous because you carry yourself with prestige. It's kind of understood before you even open your mouth that there are certain scenarios you're just not going to be in because of your anointing, because of the way you carry yourself, because you're a light worker. You kind of don't have to say you're not going to be at the grimy spot. You kind of don't have to say that you're going to get a divine masculine energy to like you and love you and protect you every time. You kind of don't have to say that you only attract quality relationships. You kind of don't have to say that you're going to get those opportunities and you're always going to get noticed for your righteousness. You don't have to tell people. Your divinity precedes you. For this reason, we have masculine energies, karmic energies. They come through the collective and they always try to test They want to test your energy. They want to know what's to you. Are you really that righteous? You have this halo, this glow, this blessing, this anointing on you. Are you really truly that anointed? Are you really truly carrying that much spirituality? Are you really truly that righteous? Do you really live your life this way on the inside of the house, or do you just come out acting a certain way on the outside of the house? Whole time you're not acting. You don't have to come outside of the house to do anything. This is literally who you are. It's who you are all the time. You're not somebody that has to play those kinds of games. You're always this person. You show up in holy energy, holy feminine energy. I'm gonna have to go back and find. I had done a reading on holy feminine energy some time ago, and that attracts divinity to you. Somebody's very jealous, they don't understand it. Why are you so respected? Why when you walk in rooms people give you so much respect? They don't get that. Transcendent amidst the everyday. There's something about you that transcends everyday energy. You have a different energy about yourself. The fact that you are so closely tied to the Most High, it doesn't take anything to see that. It doesn't take anything to see that. Anybody that's been around you knows you have some level of divine protection. Okay, it just comes through. Self-initiation. You have that level of divine protection because you yourself are initiated. You did the spiritual work. You did the prayer work. You did that yourself. No matter what your spiritual practice is, baby, you chase the Most High for yourself. You chase divinity for yourself. You chase self-love for yourself. You chase doing the right thing by others for yourself. Nobody is forcing you to be a good person, divine. And it's sad, but a lot of karmic energies don't understand that. Somebody has been very suspicious of you. They want to know why it is that you're handling yourself as such. What are you doing this for? Who are you being such a good person for? Why are you always showing up dressed like this? Why are you always showing up with respect? Why do people respect you? Who are you supposed to be? Why are people so taken with you? Who are you supposed to be? And it's like everywhere you go, they want to test you. They want to figure out what's going on. They want to know why it is that you're in this so-called privileged position, girl. You're in this elevated position. They want to know why. They want to know the reason. Spells of rose and cacao. Baby, when you come through, beauty, I'm literally hearing beauty by Drew Hill. And it's not just beauty based on your looks. Your spirit is beautiful. You bring beauty with you in the room. You speak with beauty. You carry yourself in divine feminine energy. You carry yourself with softness. You carry yourself with such softness, but the reason that there's so much jealousy around you is because there's all this mystery around your softness. They don't understand the source of your mystery, because how are you this soft and this feminine and this cool and this pretty, but you're powerful? Yeah, they don't understand that. They don't understand where you're getting that level of godly privilege from. They don't get this. Okay, the next journey beckons. You're always moving spiritually to the next space, the next place, the next thing. There's always somebody that's trying to figure out what's going on. There's always somebody that's trying to figure out what's going on with you. And it's kind of, I hate to say they resent they resent your quiet power, because that almost sounds like an oxymoron, but it's the truth. The quiet power that is around you, they resent that. They resent that. They hate that. How is it that you're able to be like this? How is it that you're able to level up like this? They resent that. You're quietly disturbing the environment, girl. I hate to say it like that, but that's real tea. Quietly, you're very disruptive. You have a lot of power and you have a lot of people around you. They're upset. They don't get it. They don't understand it. So this relationship with this masculine, what did I just pull up? The first card, power struggle. You are kind of locked in a power struggle with this masculine. And there's something that you need to understand about this power struggle. The power struggle came from above. The power struggle was spiritual. The power struggle you were having with this masculine was about the way that he governed his life spiritually. This was a masculine that was not tied to any divinity. He didn't have any power in the spirit realm. He had power in the earth realm. He had power because he looked good. He might have had a couple of dollars. We keep seeing these types of masculines come on the board. So you don't necessarily have as much money as this masculine had, or you may not have it yet, but you walk with more authority and you hold more abundance. So it was an aggravation, spiritually speaking. Why is she getting more respect than me in rooms? Why is her reputation so much better than mine in rooms when I'm the one that's got the money? I'm the one that drives the so and so, so and so. So there was all this confusion. And I promise y'all, this also applies to karmic feminine energies. Some of y'all have been dealing with a certain amount of disrespect or people disregarding you, and you really truly did not understand why you were dealing with that. It's because these people don't understand where your power comes from, because they believe power comes from the physical realm. They don't understand that power comes from within. Power comes from your internal light. Power comes from who you are internally attached to. Power comes from who you spend time with. Okay, in prayer, in the spirit realm, I mean. So there was a power struggle that was constantly going on between you and this masculine. And the fire was being fed, y'all. Okay? The fire was being fed. We see nevermore. Don't worry, y'all. We're going to get some more tea on this. We see the Most High. Period. And we see hello, baby. And on the other side of hello is Clyde, baby. This man was actually prepared to ride or die with you. Yeah, ghetto, low frequency, I know. He was prepared to ride or die with you. But the problem is that, girl, you're not one of them. You're not one of them. You don't even do that. Okay, we don't ride or die. Thank you, TT. We don't do ride or die. Okay, we don't do none of that. What's up, Shamika? We don't do the ride or die vibe over here. That's just what it is. Girl, let's get into it. Because we done seen the groundwork. So somebody, I'm telling you, you're very highly regarded spiritually. You have a lot of angelic energy around you. Girl, he didn't appreciate this. But more than anything, he didn't understand it. He didn't understand it. Girl, this card just jumped out. He didn't understand it. My past pain does not define me. I move forward with grace and peace. Message from Archangel Azrael, girl. Call upon me, whom God helps, for support in rising from the ashes of your past to be stronger than ever before. Period. You have the spirit of the phoenix upon you. And the thing is, this is a masculine, y'all. This masculine knows where you came from. He knows what you've been through. He like, you don't even have the right to rise, sis. How you rising? You've been through woo-wah. He doesn't feel you have the right to rise. But your past does not define you. All this internal power that you have, sis, all this internal power, all these different ways that you are able to define yourself and walk in grace and be great. And you don't even have, girl, you don't even have, it ain't even about what you got. You literally could be standing there, your girl, with one Amish dress and one pair of panties, girl, and you still outweighing this man. You're still showing up as greater than this man. With nothing. You don't need anything, girl. Listen, with God, if God be for me, who can be against me? You're in that type of energy. This man has been resentful. Girl, some of them karmic feminines, they've been resentful. They're challenging your authority left and right, y'all. It's going all through the collective. I can't even lie. I've experienced it a time or two in my past. People will try to challenge your authority based on, girl, we don't know. And like I told y'all, for those who weren't here in the beginning, we're looking at these same spirits that came against Daniel, right? In the Bible, these spirits that want to question you, they want to challenge you. They want to put you in the lion's den, girl, for no reason. They're trying to act like you're akin to those that live low level frequencies. They're treating you like you're akin to, girl, the thieves, the liars, those that are immoral, those that are unrighteous. They're treating you like you're a karmic, where they have to be suspicious of you, mishandle you, treat you bad, put you bad. I'm giving you boundaries. Girl, somebody's masculine was literally imposing boundaries on them for absolutely no reason. You had no idea what was going on when he started levying this mess. You had no idea what was going on. No idea. You like, what is going on? Why is he all of a sudden not being responsive? Why is he all of a sudden, now, girl, the man was just laying down boundaries on you, left, right, and sideways. This is somebody that was just trying to reverse the dynamic. He want to know, what is it with you? Maybe if I put some boundaries on her, treating you like you did something wrong. Because we know one thing that happened in the book of Daniel, baby. They made up a whole law. They made up a law to create problems for Daniel. This masculine was doing things like that to you. This man was making up laws to create problems for you. This is a masculine that was coming against you for crazy things. Somebody was coming against you saying, you working too much. How can you, what? I just be feeling like you work too much. Man, you just be you. So you just love to relax, huh? You just be relaxing. You always eating health food. I don't know what's going on. You love your lipstick. You like, what's the problem? Baby, recognize these spirits when they're in action. When people start auditing you and coming against you like that, this is somebody that's testing you. They're looking for a flaw. They're looking for some type of confusion. They're looking for something they can find because your spirit is checking out in every level as being powerful, as being something that has the hand of God upon it, as being something that is of the light. They don't understand the light and they keep trying to poke holes in it. Why is this person getting so much attention? Why are they so blessed? It must be something wrong. Girl, you wearing too much lipstick or you? It's something got to be wrong. They would try to create problems where there simply is no problem. Where there simply is no problem. There is no problem. Everything's good about you. That's the problem. Power struggle, wheel of fortune. Truth be told, and it should, as my as one of my sisters always say, truth be told, and it should. The power struggle that was going on between the two of y'all spiritually was over your destiny. This was about a masculine who wanted to be in position to destiny swap with you. This is about a karmic energy, because it's not all masculine energy, baby. This thing is coming against the collective. They want to destiny swap. This is a karmic feminine, potentially even. They want to destiny swap. The issue was they want to be in your position. What position? You ever ask somebody what it is they want from you, or what they think that you can offer, or what they think, and they don't have an answer? They want to be in a relationship with you, but they don't have an answer. They want to date you. Well, what? Why? They don't have an answer. They claim they love you. They don't have an answer. They could, when you say why, they don't have an answer. When they say that they want to be closer to you, and you say why, what is it about me, and they don't have an answer, baby, there is no answer. They want to destiny swap with you. They don't have an answer. They have no answer. You can press them and press them. They don't have an answer. Anybody that's trying to get into your life like that, they just want to be closer and they don't know why. They tell you they love you and they want to know. They don't know why. That's because they want to be you. They want a destiny swap with you. Somebody wants to get close to you so they can see what you have going on. Wheel of Fortune energy would feed the fire, coming under the Tower energy. This person was looking for ways to feed the fire. They wanted to be intuitive with you. Somebody was trying to create a disruptive energy. They were trying to distract you. Another way that people would try to steal your destiny. They would try to distract you from it. You have quiet hours where you study or you rehearse or you rest. Whatever it is that you do to make sure you're capable of doing what you do again the next day, they will come against that. They will try to create problems for that. They will try to disrespect you in some way, which maybe you'll get upset. You won't have the energy to stick with the things that you're supposed to stick with. If you are new, please be sure to like, to share, and do subscribe, okay? Subscribe and tip if you might, girl. You want to leave a little $1 or so, you can, okay? Feed the fire. This person was trying to start confusion. They wanted something to go on, something to happen. They wanted some kind of problem to take place. Somebody wanted to create an issue for you. Okay, we see nevermore. Ace of Cups energy comes out in the reverse. This wasn't about love, y'all. This was about power. Somebody may have mistaken this for, this person really loves me. This person really values our friendship. This person really values the relationship that we've cultivated. It was never about the relationship. It was never about love, connection, or intimacy. It was about jealousy and the fact that this person wanted your power. And the whole time it was never about your power, because you are somebody that shows up powerful because of where you play spiritually. So you show up powerful because of the light, because of your connection to the Most High. You can't teach anybody that. Nobody can have that. They would have to go to the Most High for themselves. But these karmic energies, they know nothing of that. So it becomes a situation where there's jealousy over who you are, right? They want to be in a relationship with you and can't even tell you why. They can't tell you a thing. They can't tell you a thing. Seven of Pentacles energy coming through with the Most High. You have a lot of reserves of godly energy in you, of light energy in you. You're somebody that truly carries the light close to you. You're always doing what you're supposed to do in that respect. You believe in living a life that has some moral code. You try to treat people well. You try to do people well. You have class. You have integrity. You're not somebody that's just roaming around out here in the streets, girl, doing people any old kind of way. This person was very triggered by that. We see the Emperor coming through under hello. And remember what was on the other side of hello, y'all? Clyde. Let me tell you something. And remember, this may be a masculine energy, but I almost want to say it's just a nasty masculine spirit that was coming against the collective, because this Emperor spirit could also be with the karmic feminine, I promise y'all. Let me tell you something. The goal was somebody wanted to become your master. This person wanted to become your master. They wanted to take your destiny, and then they wanted to become the master of your life. What does this look like? Because you say these things, and a lot of times I realize people get just like, oh my God, that's so crazy. But it's happening every day. What does that look like? That looks like somebody horning in on your opportunity and then becoming the gatekeeper between you and the opportunity. Like, you wanted a job and they double cross you to get the job, and then they get the job and tell you that they don't want to hire you. They become the manager for the job you suggested, but then they won't promote you. Okay, it could be something like that. In a masculine sense, somebody could be dealing with this masculine. Baby, you're dealing with this masculine, and this masculine is somebody that will get in a relationship with you and coax you into pregnancy, or coax you into a deeper commitment, a lease, a car note, a wedding or something like that, go all the way through the marriage, get you into some type of contract situation, then become controlling and won't let you out of the situation. When it's a friend, it can become someone that just gets you into friendship and tries to gaslight you into incessant loyalty. You have to do it. We're friends. You know, these little demonic little tricks like that. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get you to step away from your light and your holy energy, because you have to help me. You're my friend. You know, these demonic friendships where they try to get you to stray away from the Most High by... they try to get you to stray away from the Most High, girl, with crazy little loyalty packs. And you have to be so careful out here, because people be cutting up. Okay, so this is somebody that wanted to get in that position where ultimately you were going to be dependent on them. And if you were going to be dependent on them, this is what was going to give them what they wanted. We see the 5 of Cups. This is what was going to make them comfortable. This person also, this is somebody that you don't want to be in intimate contact with, because that intimate contact will ultimately turn into grief. Okay, 5 of Cups with the Lovers, girl. This will ultimately turn into grief. This will turn into a situation where you will mourn the day you got involved with this person. These are spirits you have to remember. And in this season, I hate to be the bearer of this type of news, but I always come with what I get. In this season, there are so many that are caught up. They are desperate to kind of trip up the divine feminine energy, because we are in the year of 1. We are in the year where we are going to inherit. We are getting our divine inheritances this year, girl. This is the reason people are acting a fool. Thank you so much for the bronze medal. This is the reason people are acting a fool. Girl, no, we don't see judgment already. Church bells ring when the judgment card comes through the building, okay? Girl, listen here. We got the judgment card coming through with the Knight of Cups. Beware of this person, because they will try to romance you. They will really pour it on, girl. This person will try to romance you. They will try to coddle you. They will do all of these different things for you. They will bless you, girl. They'll be sitting there holding you in the palm of their hand, girl, rocking you to sleep with their BS. Because what they want is to destiny swap with you. This is somebody that wants your slot. They don't understand why people give you so much respect. Baby, your reputation be making they butt itch. Do you understand me? Why is everybody talking about her like she's one of those girls? Baby, it's because you are one of those girls. They're upset. Your divine authority. They're mad. Do you know that some of these earth realm people, y'all, and I'm trying not to launch into a lecture. Do y'all understand that many of these earth realm beings that don't have a spiritual connection, do you know they worship the deities, girl? The Balenciaga, girl, the Balmain, the Louis Vuitton. This is what they worship. Those are their gods. So if you don't have that on, and you're not driving the Mercedes-Benz deity, and you're not underneath some of these golden calves, some of these idols, you are garbage to them. Because you worship the true God, and you don't just worship, you know, there's nothing wrong with having nice things, but these people have an unhealthy connection. They're into the deity that hosts many of these luxury items. And y'all remember that time we had that lecture about luxury. So these people worship these things. And all they care about is these things. That's what it's about when you are trapped in earth realm mythology. When you have you're disconnected from God, you're disconnected from spirit. So with that being said, this is what they worship. This is what the situation is. This is what the situation is. So with that being said, these people tend to overlook people that are spiritually gifted, people that are spiritually honorable. And the reason that they overlook it is because all they care about is these deities. These deities and got a hold of their mind. So when you get in a situation like this person is, they have an unhealthy hatred for you, these karmic energies, because they don't get it. They don't get it. You're not standing there wearing whatever we saw Cardi B with on last week. You're not standing. So why you? Why you? Why is all this respect on you? People respect you just for showing up. People speak of you with respect, girl. They speak of you with respect. You're just respectfully spoken of. They're like, she's one of them. You're spoken of honorably. They don't understand that. Without you walking around all day flashing what you have or don't have, baby, you got a lot of that stuff. They don't even know. They gonna go in your room, girl. Tiffany, Balmain, girl, everybody's in there. Girl, you got them in jury box. You ain't wore that stuff in a long time. Because that stuff does not make you. You're already made, baby. When you put those things on, let me tell you something. I'm trying not to go into a lecture. Let me tell you something. Your spirit is strong. Your spirit is strong. When you put on those items, your spirit, I keep telling y'all, feminine energy is a luxury. Your energy commands those things. They must fall in line with you because you are in line with the Most High. So when you wear those things, they see your spirit. People see your spirit come in the room when you have designer pieces on. They don't see those designers. They see you, and they see you're adorned in a few nice things. You make those pieces. Those pieces must obey you. But when you are soulless and you worship those deities for real, those pieces make them. Those pieces come in the room before them people. There's no soul there to govern those pieces, baby. That's how you get these narcissistic energies, these narcissistic demons. They are nothing without material gain. They are nothing without material things. You've seen some of these people. I've encountered women that won't leave the house if they don't have on eyelashes. They'll miss work. I've seen it. If they don't have the false lashes on, they will miss work because they need that vanity. They need that connection to lust, because for them that's what it is. It's not just beautifying, because when your spirit is pure and you throw on a trinket, well, you got a trinket on. Let me tell you something. When your spirit is connected to the Most High, baby, you can go to Temu and throw something on, and people are going to be like, girl, how much was that? 700, 900, 1700? Is that Van Cleef? Is it Van Cleef? Girl, ain't that it? Girl, they're going to be like, what's going on? Is it where'd she get that from? And you know you got it from Temu. They like, girl, where'd that come from? Tiffany's? Because who you are is the luxury. This is why the jealousy comes to the divine masculine, to the divine feminine, because who you are is the luxury. Who you are is so the luxury that even when you wear luxury, they're still going to be looking at you. They're going to be like, oh my God, your skin is glowing. What's going on? But when somebody is lost, when somebody doesn't have those, those keys to the light, baby, they need that stuff like they need air to breathe. They wouldn't be nothing without that stuff. This person was planning to try to be your emperor, okay? Two of Wands. This person was hoping to have control of you strictly based upon your plans. Pay attention. This person always want to know your plans, girl. Girl, people be sick. When they see that heavenly power, when they see divine power, they're sickened. This is why folks be trying to interview you. They want to know what you doing, where you come from, where you used to say, what do you own, who are you? Like, they're offended by your presence, and you don't understand why. Girl, they're offended by your presence because your presence is a present. Don't make me go into my yay. Your presence is the present. Not even to be vain, it's just the way that it is. That's just the way that it is. Divine masculine and divine feminine, okay? We see the devil coming out here, baby. The king of swords. These people's thoughts, this masculine's thoughts, these karmic thoughts, these thoughts, they get obsessed with you. They get stuck on you because they're fixated. They got to know what's making you you. And this is also very common when karmic masculines, baby, when you disconnect yourself from a karmic masculine or feminine, they feel that rejection. And they say, you don't have none of them deities, baby. You're not walking around rolling down the street in Balmain and all this kind of stuff. So what gives you the right to walk off and reject them? Right? What gives you the right? You have the right to walk off and reject them because your spirit is great and who you worship is powerful. Who you can connect to is powerful, right? So you can walk off and leave anybody anytime you want to. Okay? Amen. Okay? They don't understand that. So there becomes a fixation on you. I'm so serious. They get fixated on you. They watch you. They want to know what you're doing. These are the people that can't stop visiting your social media long after the situation is over because they don't understand what it is. They don't read divine energy like another divine spirit would see you and say, okay, well, I see the light on them and I bless them in their next travels and they would let you go. Notice, when you fellowship with other divine feminine, divine masculine energies and the relationship ends or the friendship ends or the professional contract ends, baby, we wish each other well. You be like, wish you well in the rest of your travels and your journey here on this earth or beyond. God bless you. And it's over with. If you see him on the street, it's like, hey, good to see you. How are the kids? Okay. And you keep going. It is when you are dealing with, y'all, if you are new to the room, please do subscribe. Don't forget to like the live. Don't forget to subscribe. Okay, we are here all the time, girl. We're open 24/7. Okay. Also, and tip if you like, girl. Gift if you like, girl. Also, they are upset. They want to know what it is. They want to know how you're getting this type of authority. They don't understand that. So there's the fixation. They're trying to figure out what happened. They're trying to figure out where things went, how it is that you acquired whatever it is they particularly think you've acquired. They need answers, okay? We see the Ten of Swords. And what starts to happen is where the spiritual friction happens is, and I want y'all to pay attention to this because this is where you need to direct your spiritual warfare, y'all. Things are not a game. We have to get more serious because as we level up, leveling up is a spiritual thing. Nobody says that, but it is. It's ascension. You don't just level up because, once again, do not listen. Do not, I keep trying not to lecture y'all. Do not let karmic energies have you out here thinking that leveling up is what happens when you, once again, girl, start buying Balenciaga and Louis Vuitton. That is not leveling up. Leveling up is not a BBL. Okay, not in the divine community. It's not. That's not what leveling up is. Leveling up for them is getting in touch with more demons, right? Just clothing themselves in demons, going and buying all types of things that are going to bring more lustful spirits towards them, more vanity towards them, and they're going to get stuck in it. It's going to become an obsession. They're going to fall all off into drunkenness, and it's just going to go to hell. But for the divine energies, leveling up for us means spiritual ascension. And when you ascend spiritually, it gets crazy. It gets wild. And you start having different energies coming at you. And depending on what territory you live in spiritually, now you may be dealing with territorial demons. They're upset. It could be cultural demons as well, girl. You just never know. Certain cultures have a real problem with jealousy. If you know, you know. Jealousy is a big problem. And when they see somebody that is held on to the divine light, which we come from, they're very upset. They're highly upset. They can't take it. They don't know what to do. So you start to deal with the evil eye, which brings me back to what I'm about to say. You have to be praying against that evil eye energy and coming against those, bringing down those principalities, those dark rulerships, etc., because we see the devil, we see the King of Swords, and then we see the Ten of Swords. So we know it will come as a mental attack. Somebody may have already been dealing with this, and this is the moment that you gain clarity. People was giving you problems, mentally stressing you out, bringing you into distraction. This was because you were dealing with, and you have been dealing with, some karmic spirits, some karmic energies that you walked away from, you didn't give a damn about, and you just said, you know what, I know who I am in the Christ consciousness, I know who I am spiritually and in the all, and I'm just going to pick up my things and go. Okay, I'm just going to pick up my pocketbook and go. And when you did that, this person, they got obsessed. They were watching you. They were ruminating over you, but understand that mentally they felt destroyed by you. Ten of Swords. That is where the evil eye energy comes in. They felt destroyed by you. They could not believe you got up and walked out on them like that. They could not believe that you, who didn't even have on no red bottoms, had the nerve, LOL, okay? I think I'm gonna start saying LOL out loud, okay? LOL. Could not believe that you value yourself enough to leave them behind. This person did not understand your spiritual disposition. This person did not understand that you are always on a spiritual journey. This karmic energy did not understand that you take your cues from spirit. You're not living by the Joneses. You're not living by hip hop videos. You're not living by rock music. You're not living by whatever is designated to you specifically, or any of us, by luxury culture. That's not the way you live your life, girl. You live your life divine. You make decisions based on what you hear spiritually. You follow spirit. That's what you do. That's what you do. You don't do all that. Other people will sit back and they'll follow the Joneses. You wish you would do something like that. You're free. You do you. So this person didn't understand how to categorize you. And now they're sitting there destroyed by you because they're like, what gave her the courage to move on? Why doesn't she fellowship with us no more? Who does she think she is? It's not about that. 8 of Wands. This person is still in heavy communication with you energetically. They're still thinking about you. They're still trying to figure out what happened. They're still trying to put the pieces together. They're still trying to figure out why you ain't still calling them or who you think you are. This person is not having a very good experience with moving on. And to be honest, they still want to be in communication with you if they have already moved on. If they're still in communication with you, there's a problem with honest communication. They're not being 100 with you. They're not telling you that low key, they're still there because they're trying to figure out what gives you the audacity to live and be you. Sometimes we don't realize as divine beings, our existence upsets people. The nerve of you to be you on a Tuesday or a Friday or a Monday. Girl, the balls of you to be you on a Thursday afternoon. They don't understand. People don't understand a lot of times that's the big offense. The offense is that you are who you are. And you're who you are loudly and proudly. Even if you're quiet. When you have a spirit of light, your light beams. Whether you're trying to beam or not. Baby, it makes me think of Lupe Fiasco. The future was dark. What you see me now? I'm beaming. Baby, you're beaming. Even if you don't want to be. Today, nobody cares. That used to be my jam. 9 of Wands. So, thank you, Spirit, for that confirmation. To the 9 of Wands. This person is experiencing ego, death, and all types of stuff. Just listen, baby. The light is so powerful. When it comes in contact with the darkness, baby, folks will be experiencing ego, deaths, falling apart, obsession, trying to possess you, losing their mind, testing your spirit, lying, confused, crying at night, baby. Can't figure out what's going on, stress, anxiety. And whole time we're sitting there reading a book, drinking water, minding our business. And these people are having all types of spiritual problems just from knowing we're there, because it's like, how can that divine masculine or feminine be moving like that? Who's validating her? Baby, they be wanting to know who signed off on you. I'm serious, even though that's really funny as hell. I'm serious. They want to know who signed off on you. You walking around beaming with light and authority and divine. People speak of you in high regard. Who signed off on that? She not with no record label. She's not like funky rich, come from some, super rich, one of the 13 families. Like, who signed off on this? Baby, God. God signed off on it. And if they don't have a relationship with God, then they're not able to comprehend that. They're not able to make sense of that. They're not able to digest the true wealth, which is the wealth that you possess. You don't need any royalty. You don't need that. You are. It is written and it is so. 3 of Pentacles energy. This person spends a lot of time kind of talking to other people about you in a way that attempts to spiritually block your roads. mentally. They want you to hear back what people are saying. They're hoping that they can poison the water routes around you, the communication routes around you. You know, I heard this about her, because the way that you're seen as a righteous being, it bothers them. They want to start a rumor about you. They want to say something about you that'll get people to not see you as being as dope as you are. People won't see you as amazing as you are. Okay? Don't forget to like the live and subscribe, guys, if you're in the room. They want people, especially if you're new, they want people to look at you funny. I've experienced that myself as well, divine feminine energies. I know we all know what that's like when somebody just, it's like they're bothered by the fact that you get respect at work, or they're bothered by the fact that your family likes you. Your family love, they're mad about that. They're mad that you have a devoted parent or a devoted cousin or protective brother, or you have a niece that's crazy about you. They'll get mad about that because whatever it is you got, they don't understand why you got it. They don't think you should have it. Who are you? You're not out here doing whatever earthly filth they're doing in order to look themselves in the mirror every day and just say, hey, I must be all that because I got this on. Hey, I must be all that because I slept with this many people this weekend. They're doing grimy things to feel good about themselves. You don't have to do that. And you still shine, and your life still moves well, and you're still revered. The thing that really gets them about you, divine, is the reverence. People look at you with reverence, even if they're not saying it to you. Like, you may be somebody where you don't really hear this from people a lot. Nobody's really coming to you saying it outright. But if you think about it, there's a lot of peace around you. The reason there's peace around you is because there's respect around you. Baby, everybody around you, a lot of the people around you, they have their problems, they have their complaints, they have their demons. The reason that people are not calling you, blowing your phone up all day with their problems, the reason that people are not dropping their bad kids off to your house and driving away, the reason that people are not coming to you telling you all their hard luck stories all the time, or trying to get money from you, or trying to do all types of mess, is because they have too much respect to bring it to you. Your respect, your reverence. They don't want to bring it to you. You have people around you that are not telling you that they're involved in certain habits because you're the type of person they don't want to say. They don't want you to know that they're smoking such and such a thing. They don't want you to know that they hang with a certain crowd of people. They would never want you to know that they get down like that. You represent the light. Your presence, divine, feminine, masculine, when you're in the presence of people, divine, you're like a reminder to them of what they should be doing. You have a very ministerial light about you, even if you could care less to have it. You just do because you're in light energy. So a lot of times when you're around people, you may notice they're a little uncomfortable with you. That's because you represent the righteous path. They can't tell you where they were last night because you would probably frown on that. Even if you might not. That's what your energy gives. There have been many times for this masculine energy, the Six of Swords, baby, his thoughts have been to kind of try to lead other people away from you, and also to kind of get away from you himself, because he doesn't want you to catch on to who he is and kind of tell people, because you have a light energy about yourself where it's obvious that you kind of catch on to things. Anytime we divine energies, you know, we pick up on a lot of like what people are trying to hide. There's always been stress with this person around you because they're afraid of what you'll pick up. Okay, Ten of Pentacles energy. They also are very aware. Ten of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles. This person is also very aware that in order to really truly stay in your life and stay a part of your life, they would have to be offering something that was substantial forever. They would have to be offering husbandly energy, wifely energy. They would have to be offering best friend energy, best friend akin to family energy. This person knows that what they got going on, which is that they don't have a lot of character and they don't have a lot to offer outside of whatever clothes, whatever money, whatever sex. They don't have a lot to offer outside of that. So for them, they've always been a little angry and agitated with you and power struggle with you on the low, because they really know they don't have enough ammunition to stay in your life for real. Like, they know it's only a matter of time before who they really are, which is not really saying a lot, is going to be kicked out of your life. They know it's a matter of time before it's clear, Page of Pentacles, that they offer very little value to conversations. They offer very little value to your life. And there's a lot of this going on in the divine community right now where people are just kind of being discovered for what they are not. Everybody, I'm having conversations, I'm getting clients and different things where this is kind of coming up across the board, which is that everybody's experiencing, like, listen, the light is being shined, and it's exposing everything, and you're starting to realize that a lot of these people, no ma'am, they were never offering anything. They provide little value to your life. We have to realize a lot of times it takes time for us as divines. We finally realize that we're the person providing the value. We're the person that's providing the good time or the good conversation. We're the person that's really keeping everything going. I've had experiences where I've been in groups or on teams where once somebody like struck out at me and I decided to move on from the groups die. The groups die because there's not a light energy in there anymore. You know, the other people were just go along to get along, and now the groups died because there's no one there to continue to bring light to it. There's not anyone even there to say good morning in the group. The group is just over with. Or you work in groups and classes where once the group, you know, different things happen, and maybe you decide to move to another group, or I've had times I've decided to work on my own, and the group girl failed the project. And you be like, and they'll fail the project because they didn't know what to do. They didn't have any direction. There was no one there to provide that leadership or to provide that light. It happens all the time. And divines, like, we have to start picking up these subtle cues to kind of tell us where we fit in, and people will start to get upset with you about that. Well, who are you supposed to be? And baby, it is what it is. Don't question. It is what it is. Things are as they are. And people are trying to question it, but no ma'am. The Empress. This person sees your value, okay? The Empress and the Eight of Cups. And they know more than anything else that with your value being such as it is, the Empress and the Eight of Cups, baby, this person knows you will walk away. Okay, you will walk away to a new man. Ace of Wands, divine masculine and fire sign energy. This person feels like that's the type of man that you really should be with. Somebody that is very vibrant, somebody that is a divine masculine Ace of Wands type energy, right? So this is somebody that is very vivacious, is very passionate, but is vivacious and passionate as it relates to good things. This is somebody that will be in a hurry to do things the right way. This will be somebody that will be in a hurry to do things with faith. Okay, to do things with divine understanding. This is a masculine that will come through and use his speed and his excitement for life to be healing for you. This is the divine masculine that walks in and says, you know what? I want you to come with me on a trip, and we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna hike, we're gonna do this and that. And he brings healing to your life because he shows you something new, takes you to a new place, does something different with you. He uses that energy to be a blessing. He uses that energy to uplift. He's not using the energy to question you, to challenge you, to tear you down, to figure out why you what must be the secret. Because this karmic masculine believes there must be some type of secret to your success. He doesn't believe that you really are who you are because of who you were raised to be or who you are in the Most High. There must be a secret. You must be hiding some, girl. What's going on? I'm finna get to know her and find out she must be in cahoots with somebody, girl. Did she be with the dope man? What's going on? What's going on? Is she dope? Like, how is she doing it? How is she showing up to the world every day and being a decent person with a smile on her face? Girl, how is she making it happen? They don't believe. When people don't know God, they don't believe that someone could be happy every day or be at peace every day or give their best every day. They don't believe that someone could be literally just be beautiful from the inside out, like skin glowing every day. They don't believe that you could be consistent without some type of support. They don't believe that you could be independent and just fellowship with God and make things righteous for. They don't believe in things like that. There must be a trick. There must be a trick. They don't believe in that. There must be a lie. You must be lying. You're a liar. Because if you're existing with that level of divinity, doesn't that mean they might be a piece of shit? Doesn't it? It might not mean that to you, but it damn sure means that to them. Yeah, it does. Trust me, it does. That's what it means to them. So this masculine is just kind of biding his time. This person was in your life always knowing that it was only a matter of time before the jig was up. They never expected to make it past the final cuts. This person is somebody that you have to be aware of, because they're going to try to start like slowly bring fights and confusion into your life. Knight of Pentacles with the Five of Wands with the Knight of Swords. Bringing fight and confusion into your life by being just hostile and aggressive for no reason. Again, I told y'all, this masculine will literally start to create fights and boundaries for no reason, girl. This man will just start creating boundaries like, I don't want to eat that, and I don't think you should call me at this time. Just trying to give you a hard time. Notice that they will try to get you to lose your composure, because when you have peace and you have connection to the light, losing your composure is not something that just hauls off and happens all the time. It just doesn't. You're composed. You do you. That's just the way that it is. But this person is hoping that they can get you into a space where maybe you lose your composure, you jump out and start acting crazy, and this will give them some type of victory over you. They're trying to get a hold of your emotional state however they can, baby. Do not allow them to do that. Do not allow them to do that. We see this high priestess energy because, remember, that's what he wants victory over. That high priestess energy. That ability that you have to be soft and to be just freaking amazing and still be in power. You're just standing there being you and you're still in power. You're just standing there being feminine and you're still exalted. This is where the jealousy is coming from. Queen of Wands energy. Beware that this masculine may start trying to, this is very common with divine energies. Beware that this masculine may try to start comparing you to worldly women, because he's jealous. He doesn't understand how you literally are getting so much more respect and love from women that do 100 times what you do. Really, you are just being yourself. So beware, they will start trying to compare you to women of the world. They would start trying to say, well, why don't you wear this? Or why aren't you doing that? Well, Megan Thee Stallion said, whatever they could come up with that's supposed to make you feel like you need to lean more towards decadence. You need to lean more towards ugliness or, hyper sexual energy. Whatever they can come up with that may suggest that is what they're going to try to lean into. So just be wary of that, of them trying to hold you up and say, well, why aren't you, proudly walking around being the Scarlet Woman? If you would do that, more men would spend money on you. I would spend more money on you, King of Pentacles. I would do more for you. I might even marry you. Just a lot of foolishness and nonsense. Again, this person's presence in your life represents nothing more than someone who keeps testing your energy. It doesn't mean anything more than that. That's all they care about. That's all they want to do, is to test your energy. They want to see how they can find out the secret to your power. It's very much Samson energy as well, y'all. People be wanting to know the secret of the strength of the divine. They'll go to any length to figure it out. Any length. They'll humiliate themselves trying to figure out what makes you tick. How can they get a hold of you? How can they break you? You can't possibly be this dope. You can't possibly be this holy. You can't possibly be this righteous. You can't possibly be this accountable for everything you do. You can't possibly hold a queen's space the way that you do. You can't possibly be that. There's got to be something horribly wrong with you. Where's the crack? Girl, where is the crack? Where is the stolen money? Where is the heist? There must be something. There must be something. Desperation to find a crack in your spirit. Any divine energy, they're desperate. What are you hiding? Must be something. Must be something. Something to satisfy their own low achievement. That's all. That's all. Two of Cups with the Three of Swords. Listen. This person is going to be heartbroken as this all wraps up and ends. Simply because they never found nothing wrong with you. This person vanishes because they never was able to find nothing wrong with you. This person vanishes because they don't understand how it is you were getting all this respect everywhere you set your feet. without you having to somehow sell your soul. This for them was devastating. It was a spiritual lesson that they weren't even ready to learn. A spiritual lesson they didn't know existed. Okay? Page of Cups energy coming through with the Temperance card. This person was hoping to gain from you some level of peace, some level of love, just a cool relationship, a cool, arrangement. They were hoping to gain from you just in a way where everything was pretty cool and smooth. They were looking for things to be copacetic. They weren't really looking for much, but the more they got to know you, this person, and the more they got to see how amazing you are, and the more they got to see how exalted you are, the more the jealousy set in, the more they started to feel resentful, the more they started to want to know, how are you doing this? I'm out here working 2 jobs to drive this Bentley or whatever they might think is fly that they're driving. And you're walking around here with some flip-flop sandals and some nice clean clothes, and people are waiting and opening doors for you, loving you, giving you opportunities, recommending you for jobs, spiritual doors blowing off the hinges for you left, right, and sideways. Who are you supposed to be? Why you get to live like that? And don't be a feminine living in soft life energy. Why are you getting to live like that? I'm out here working hard. Why you get to sit back? They don't understand your life. Why everybody love you so much anyway? Because if you believe that love comes from material things, right? People love you because you could give them money, or people love you because you have money, or people love you because you represent money and they want to be like you. That's where love comes from. People who believe things like that hate divine energies because they prove that who you are generates love and gets love back. They hate somebody that can go outside and literally get love from stray cats and dogs. Like, you're just radiating love all the time. They hate somebody that they know that older people and younger people immediately feel safe with you and say you're amazing. They hate it because what's going on around here? I'm the one wearing the Balmain. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay, these are the types of energies that, unfortunately, a lot of times you have to be careful, girl. They will entangle themselves with the divine and get caught up in the rapture, get caught up with us, because they mess around and get obsessed with just trying. We saw it with the devil card energy back here previously. And the King of Swords, they literally mentally get obsessed with trying to figure out why it is you get to be who you are. They want to know. They want to know. It's not fair. Why do you get that? Why do you get that? I'm working so hard at absolutely nothing. I'm working so hard at frivolous things. Why are you the one that gets all that love and blessing? We see the 6 of Cups. I'm sorry, the 9 of Cups. This person thought they would get fulfillment from you that wouldn't create this problem in them, that wouldn't trigger their demons, that wouldn't stir their insecurities, wouldn't cause them to realize that there is a God and there is another way to live and there is another way to be revered and respected. There is another way. It doesn't all come from throwing money up in the air at clubs or, whatever other carnal BS this person that came up with. Okay, we see Page of Cups, we see Temperance, we see 9 of Cups. This person thought they were just going to be in this casual, fulfilling situation with you. But unfortunately for them, you turned out to be a divine feminine, Ace of Pentacles. And once a divine feminine or divine masculine is now in a relationship with a karmic energy, that karmic is going to start learning lessons. That karmic is going to start getting triggered. That karmic is going to start suffering. They're going to start suffering. As much as they might want to say it's you, or it's going to be that I'm going to do something to you, nothing's going to happen to you, girl. Nothing's going to happen to you, my guy. Us divines, we're going to be fine. We're going to be fine. I remember when I was a kid, like a teenager, I had a friend that said that, and it always stuck with me. We had another friend, and they weren't speaking. And I said, well, she would really like to speak with you. And my friend said, for what? And I said, because she says she just wants to reconnect. She's saying she'd like to know how you're doing. And in case anything ever happens, she would like to know that you and her were on good terms. And my friend said to me, you tell her I don't want to speak to her. And you tell her nothing's ever going to happen to me. Nothing's ever going to happen. There's never going to be a reason for her to speak to me just in case something happens, because nothing ever happens to me and nothing ever will happen to me. So there's no reason for us to have that conversation. I'm going to be just fine. And when I tell you to this day, that tickles me because it was such a ridiculous answer to that particular request. But it was also very real. And I still say that. The people are like, we should reconnect just in case something happened. I don't want your evil ass back in my life, and nothing's ever going to happen to me. So you don't even have to worry about that. Okay? I want to talk to you just in case something happens. Baby, I'm going to be just fine. I'm going to be just fine. So let that gaslighting go, girl. Let that plea back in go. I want us to be on good terms in case the Lord calls you home. Go to hell. And I have never forgotten that. I was really, I might have been 14 actually when but that tickled me to death. And truth be told, that's real tea. Girl, this person that try to come in your life and play them kinds of games with you, Ace of Pentacles, baby, when a divine feminine is in the room, don't let them do that. Like we're gonna connect. They're gonna suffer for trying to play games with you. Don't let them reconnect with you. This person thought that you would nurture them through their nonsense. You're not gonna do that either, girl. You're not gonna do that either. What are we doing? What are we doing? Four of Cups energy. You didn't accept the role that they had for you. You just didn't. This Ace of Pentacles, this Queen of Cups, this Four of Cups. They wanted you divine feminine or not, you were supposed to nurture them and make it okay for them, make it comfortable for them to basically be the leader because they may have had certain material things. Girl, you're not going to do that. That's not who you are. That's not how you move. You weren't going to do that, and that wasn't going to happen. We see the Six of Pentacles. This would have had to be reciprocity. There was no reciprocity here. That's why you didn't accept this person. Your spirit let you know very early on that this person wasn't right, and you started to reject them in some way. You started to pull back from them in some way. You were not available for what they were trying to do. You really were not. You were not available for what they were trying to do. We see the Eight of Pentacles coming through here. So the Eight of Pentacles is... Girl, it become hard work dealing with you. No lie. Like this person that got sick of you. This is a karmic, and you have to understand that a lot of times when people get away from us, divine feminines, divine masculines, girl, they've gotten sick of us because they've been throwing evil dart after evil dart, girl. They've been throwing rot after, girl, they've been doing all types of stuff. Girl, they've been clowning. You ain't even notice. And they get sick of it. And every time they try to throw a dart at you, girl, the Most High mess around and give you something else. And they just be disgusted. They're like, I'm sick of this person. I am so sick of this person. Why do they keep winning? And they just dip. It happens, girl. They just dip. They just get out the way. They get tired of you. They get tired of your mess. Girl, King of Wands. Yeah. You are meant for a divine masculine, fire sign, Sagittarius, Aries, Leo. That is more of what you are meant for. Okay? That is more of what you are meant for. You are not meant for whatever, girl, whatever this is that this person was trying to pull on you. That's not what you're meant for. That's not what they're not for you, girl. This wasn't your thing, girl. This is King of Wands, girl. This was not. You're supposed to be for the divine masculine King of Wands. The masculine that was here, that may have been a King of Wands. That King of Wands was a shadow. Sometimes we get the wrong one first. This was somebody that your divinity was causing them to challenge you, to question you, to come against you, to audit you all the time, to try to prove there must be something sleazy about you. I'm going to find it, That wasn't right. That was a demonic energy. And this person is going to be removed from your life swiftly. So no need to worry about that. No need to worry about that. These people do this, y'all. It's very common. You could probably even look back in your younger years and you'll probably notice that there were people that did things like this to you. It becomes a lifelong pattern of people trying to smote you, people trying to come against you, people trying to create problems for you. It becomes a life. I don't want to speak that into existence, that it's a lifelong thing, but I can say for myself and divine energy through my life and looking back through my life, it has been a very consistent pattern that people will be attracted to you and want to come around you more or less because they want to be problematic for you. They want to know how you tick, or they want to cause. If you've ever been, depending on where you grew up, if you grew up in a divine area, like an area that has some divinity to it. It may have had an institution of education in it. It may have had a hospital in it. It may have had some type of philanthropic charity organization in it. Somewhere it may have had a lot of flowers, a lot of gardening. Somewhere where love or knowledge or education or philosophy or something was celebrated. Somewhere where light energy itself was celebrated in the area itself. Whereas the light energies were ruling the territory itself. So it wasn't just about you or your family or your lineage, but the energies of the area itself, the territorial energies that govern the area itself were high-ranking light energies. If you've ever been somewhere like that, or you grew up somewhere like that, you know what it's like to watch energy show up to these places and attempt to destroy or attempt to be disruptive to those energies. It's very real. And it's very serious. I can remember somebody telling me that, okay, story time. I can tell y'all a couple of the wildest stories you ever want to hear. And then we're going to go ahead and get out of here. And I'll make these stories short. I won't even tell the long version. I can remember a guy that was from, he had a very bad start in life. And it was acceptable to him he would say, just go in bad areas and just like go in nice go in good areas or upscale restaurants and just dirty up the place, just throw napkins down, throw food on the ground, throw things, just be problematic because he wanted to desecrate the area. These people think they all that. He wanted to desecrate the area. They think that's okay. I've seen things like this a lot. I can remember being much younger and being on a double date with a friend, and the guy that she brought on the double date, girl, I don't know where this boy was from, so do not ask me, because to this day I'm like, where must she have found this guy? But we were in a restaurant, and it was a pretty nice restaurant. I mean, I won't even say that. It was a nice bar. It wasn't even top tier. It was just a neighborhood bar, but it was a nice one in a nice area. And this dude just screams out. Y'all, this is so crazy. Just screams out in the middle of the day. They don't want me in here. They don't want a young black man and a white beater in here eating. They don't want to see me in here. It was a mixed cultural environment. Okay, it was like people of all walks of life. It was white folks in there. It was all types of people. They don't want to see me in here. And he just runs out into the street. And I was just like, I was glad he did it, because you're disturbing the evening and this is embarrassing. And girl, where did you find this food? I was like in my 20s. And girl, that man ran off out into the street, girl, and she was chasing. Oh my God. And I was just like, I'm glad they went outside, because I'm not getting involved. And that was just ignorant. But just the energy in the restaurant itself, right? It was in a different area. Different ruling spirits. I'm telling y'all ways you can kind of look and see how these territorial spirits and where you are and whether or not you're in divine energy, et cetera, et cetera. There are always things going on in the environment that, it was ignorant. There are always things going on in the environment that kind of speak to these rules. I don't know where this dude was from, but just coming into an area that had different ruling spirits and had different cultures and different energies and was probably a better community than maybe what he had come out of. Though his demons were triggered and they started manifesting right there in the bar. Right there in the bar. But I can't handle this. They don't want me in here. I can feel it. I can feel it. And I'm just like, wow. And I had never met him before this night. I never met him before. This was somebody. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you, Sue girl. Thank you, Sue. Girl, this man, Sue girl, this man was crazy. And I'd never met him before. Maybe if I was 24, maybe he was 25 or something. And do you know what he did? He went out to the parking lot and went in the trunk of his car and got a bottle of beer out of there. And he stood in the parking lot and drank a bottle of beer and played music. That's all he could handle. And my friend stayed out there with him. I guess I stayed in the restaurant. It's like, I don't even know them no more. I don't even know them no more. Wow. Oh my God, there's some people out in the park. Get out of here. Oh, isn't it awful? I wonder who they are. Like, I was dumb. Like, I don't even know y'all no more. Y'all done took things to a new low. But when you look at it from a spiritual perspective, you know, this was about him being triggered. This was about his demons. He was upset. He was being, something in him they couldn't take it. He was in this restaurant and he just felt that he was being rejected, right? That's of course it's a psychological thing, but it's also a spiritual thing. You know what I'm saying? It's also a spiritual thing. He felt like he was being rejected. Nobody had done anything to him. But this is what his experience, this is what he felt. I went through an experience, a friend we had in high school. I mean, this young lady, she had tested into, the school, and she had like a basketball scholarship or something like that. And once she got in school, she couldn't take it. She had a bad start also, and now she was in a new community. And she just started trying to wreak havoc, y'all. This person was trying to set up other young ladies at the school to be S-anged. Okay? I'm saying it wrong. S-assaulted. You follow what I'm saying? Sick. Lashing out because she came from one kind of environment and the kids in this community came from a very different kind of environment. So it becomes, I want to cause pain. It becomes, I want to take everybody down with me. It becomes, I want to see these girls humiliated. I want to see something happen to them. I got to find something wrong with them. That spirit is so real. Girl, that's right. SH, you got it. That's what I was trying to say. It becomes so real for these people, and they allow these entities to infiltrate them. And now all of a sudden you're in a community where there's somebody in here that can't handle. And she unfortunately was successful in doing and setting other girls her age up for some of these events because she couldn't take it. She couldn't take it. Couldn't take it. Just couldn't take being out of her immediate environment. It was painful for her. She was having a bad experience over there. So again, just look back through your life sometimes at times that you saw demonic entities, coming through and because they coveted what you had, because they coveted your divinity, because they coveted the spot that you had. They wanted to destiny swap with you, and then you start seeing them do evil things like this, or you start seeing them being triggered by the environment, just like the story that I just told y'all. This man is running out in the street like a crazy person. Yeah, you have to peep it immediately. Absolutely, Deandria. You have to peep it immediately, because these people they letting these demons control them, so they will become very harmful for you down the line. They will become very harmful. Or they will try to. They will not. In the mighty name of the Most High, baby, they will not be successful. But, I mean, I experienced so many things like that growing up. People try to get you in fights. They just want to see something bad happen to you. And I think that we have to stop being naive about karmic energies, how often they really just want to see something bad happen to you. You have to be honest with yourself. That's how you know who to get away from you. People just want to see something bad. They're disappointed that they did the layoffs down at your job and you're the only person that didn't get laid off. You see that disappointment in their face, they mad. Okay? That's when you get rid of a person. They're upset that you finished the program. I had somebody tell me that one time. That when I got my first degree, that person said, I didn't even expect you to get out of the first few classes. Somebody said that to me. I couldn't believe it. Somebody that was posing as a very close friend of mine. And after I got my master's degree, that person became increasingly cruel to me, to the point they had to be removed from my life. Very seriously. Like, it's a shame, because we know as divines how hard it is for us to get things. Sometimes we have to overcome a lot of spiritual, challenges. But, you know, we have to overcome a lot of spiritual challenges. And you find out who's around you, they're not happy for you. You crawled to get whatever it was you got. You worked the long hours, you prayed, you fought and you prayed. They're not happy for you. They watched you do it. Well, they were sure that was how. This is proof that she's never going to get that opportunity. This is proof that she'll never get the house. Too many obstacles. But somehow you still got the house. They're upset. They're angry. Karmic energies. And they coming against the divine collective so much now. You really have to pay attention. You really have to pay attention because, baby, when I tell you I done seen some things, and I done seen, you know, the level of hatred against someone just because the person is just a being of the light. Where people try to take you up out of here. Seriously, they'll put an attempt on your life. Try to get you SA'd, as we said earlier, all types of stuff. I've seen it. I've lived it. For no real reason other than they just don't feel like they can't explain the favor of God on your life. And rather than them, well, they just dark. Because they can go see God for themselves, can't they? But when they don't, they would rather do something cruel to a fellow human being. That just shows you who they are and who they ain't, don't it? All right, girl. If you have enjoyed this divine feminine tarot tea, girl, please go ahead, do like, do share, do subscribe. Okay, do not be afraid to come to the building, girl. And when you do, I implore you to hit that bell. So you can be here every single time. Me and the T team are off up in here, getting it in with all of these good old tarot messages. Hey, baby, if you would like a personal reading from me, please do not hesitate to get on the wait list. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I am behind on personals. dftarottea@gmail.com. Also, if you would like to join, we have a book club membership on this channel, girl. We just discussed the lightweight books. Girl in there, put a little spiritual book tea up in there today. If you would like to join the Dark Feminine membership, girl. If you would like to join the Spiritual Warfare membership, girl. If you would like to join my other channel, Pretty Princess Promises and Prosperity Petitions, girl. If you have never been here before, please do subscribe, girl. I would love to have you, okay? If you are still in the building, please go ahead and put 7657 in the comment section because it was exactly 76 minutes and 57 seconds when I said what I said. Okay, also, if you would like to go make a little love offering to this channel, girl, dftarottea at Cash App or PayPal, girl. And I guess I'm gonna get on up out of here. I don't think I have nothing else, girl. I can show tell. You're welcome. I can show tell. Child, I could tell that one person, girl, that one person that was getting folks SA'd and didn't nobody know in high school, baby. I could tell you stories about her. That one person, baby. It's some demonic people out here. It's some demonic people out here. And you know, people can be mean and people can be cruel, but people can be evil. And if you've ever come in contact with an evil person, you know, I swear to you, just the memory of that person will haunt you. Just remembering how evil of a person someone was, or how treacherous, or how dark, or how untrustworthy they were. You know, it can be something that'll stay with you for a lifetime. Just trying to figure out, you know, like, damn, you know, what makes a person like that? What makes that kind of person? What creates that kind of person? Child, what y'all got? Anybody got something to say? Any last words? Anybody got any questions? Any spiritual questions, girl? Maybe I answer questions, girl. I'm gonna get on in this here bed. What else she do, girl? That woman. I mean, somebody I knew at like 16. I wasn't even around her a long period of my life. That girl just twisted. You know, she successfully set up a couple of people to be SA'd. I found out when I was an adult. And then when I was an adult, like, you know, in my 20s adult, she saw me And she was my best friend in high school. And how crazy is that, right? She was a part of a group of girls I hung in. And I was from an area where we didn't know about girls like her. We didn't know. So we were very naive. Nobody's family liked her. Like all of our grandmothers and things, just like something's off with that girl. And we were just, you don't know, you don't understand her. You know, we were just naive as hell. And she, uh, we didn't know. And I ran back into her some years later, still was a bit naive. And we went to a couple of us from school, back from, we're out of school many years at this point, went to a house party that she had. And we didn't stay long because nobody trusted her, right? And I think now, like, why did we even go? And we found out that was a setup. And at this point, we were like almost 30 years old. And that was a setup. And I hadn't seen her in 10 years. It was just like, oh, we're going to have something. And that was a setup. And then I found out she had a cousin of mine set up. I'm pretty sure of that. By the time I realized it happened, 11 years had passed. I didn't know. Very sick individual. And I think that taught me a lot about, first of all, your parents are usually right, number one. And number two, that taught me a lot about evil. We didn't know anything about evil. We really didn't. One of me and my best friend still talk about that. We thought that because she came from a really tough area. She didn't come from a good area. And we thought that our families were judging her because of her zip code. No, they weren't. They were adults, right? And they had been around the block, and they knew when they were seeing someone that was troubled. But we didn't believe that. We thought that she was just being misunderstood because she didn't come from the best area. And we wanted her to be treated fairly. So we did a lot of like fighting with people about her. I remember she started dating a friend of ours and his older brother, who was like in his 30s. And we were teenagers. And he was like, I think you guys are kind of naive. You don't really realize there's some problems going on with that girl. And like my male friend who she was dating at the time in high school, he's like crying, like, you don't know her. She comes from a rough area. Like we were really sweet kids. And I didn't think that until I got older. I look back and I'm like, yo, we were really sweet. Like we were really nice kids. We didn't know that. We didn't know about girls like that. We just didn't. Yeah. She grew to be quite dangerous. And chaos energy. And you give them proximity, they will ruin your life. And we didn't know. We really didn't. We didn't know. We thought like everybody's picking on her because she doesn't have a lot of money. And nobody was picking on her. They were just trying to warn their kids. I can think of my grandmother and my friend's grandmother. I mean, these were 70-plus-year-old women. They knew a dog when they saw a dog. And they were like, this is not cool. Like, you guys shouldn't be around her. And, I remember we had a ball in high school, like an actual ball. And everybody went, everybody dressed up, and she came, and it was obvious that she wasn't able to afford the best stuff, right? But she tried to wear what we were because we all dressed alike. We thought we was Destiny's Child or somebody like that. And she tried to wear what we were wearing. So she wore something similar, but like the shoes were not great and the stockings were like kind of, she really, so we were like, y'all are picking on her because she wasn't really able to afford this and that, and it doesn't matter, and we're her friends, and you just feel y'all just want to put her down because she wasn't able to, we just thought it was all about economics. And it was all about neighborhood. Like, she's from a neighborhood that, doesn't have this or that. That's okay. She's still our friend. Y'all are picking on her because she could, she can't afford. That didn't have nothing to do with her. That girl was a whole demon seed. And she had told me like some disturbing things, but I was a kid. I didn't get it. She's just like, Oh, yeah, yo, I listen. When I got into tarot and things like that, I had already been like raised in church and all these different types of things that kept me, spiritually close and with my family. But I've seen some stuff. And I just think about her sometimes and I'm like, that was so way out. She had told me at one point, like, yeah. And I'm like, why did we keep hanging? Like, we should have been concerned. She's like, oh, she's like, um, sometimes at night I wake up and I'm trapped in a bubble and I have to fight my way out. Man, what was she talking about? Was she? And then she like lightly mentioned, like, yeah, my parents had me in therapy a couple of times a week, and one time they put me in the hospital. I had to get these shots, and it's like I think I was 30 by the time I was like, bro, yo, was she like troubled or something like that? Like we were so oblivious. Me and my little friends, we were so oblivious. We were oblivious to we all grew up together and we were oblivious to the fact that we had some level of privilege, I guess. And we were also oblivious to the fact that someone might be jealous of that, or that there may be demonic entities that were like being launched against us. I'll tell you something else crazy about that same girl. Again, I ran into her when we were 28. We went to a house party. A friend and I went to a house party that she had, and it was just tacky. And she ended up telling me and my friend, this same friend in high school, we used to walk her to the bus stop every day because remember she lived outside of our neighborhood. So we walk her to the bus stop every day. And so every day when we would walk to this bus stop, this really ugly young gent, I'm serious, okay? It's no other way for me to describe him, would stop her. And he would be like, hey, yo, calling her by her name. Hey, yo, da 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 da, calling her name. And she would ignore him. And he was in a gang. We did know that. And he was older than us. And he had been pumed in his face. So he looked a mess. Okay. And we were like, oh my God, like, why is he talking to you? Like, we were that type of team. And so she would keep walking and he would be like, you just gonna do this to me? You just gonna do this to me? And so for the whole 3 blocks, and this would happen every day after school. So for the whole 3 blocks that we would walk her to the bus stop, this boy, he was a little fella, like he was about our size, but he would follow her. Think Lil Wayne, but way worse looking, right? He was a little fella like that. He would follow us to the bus stop every day. And he would just be calling her name, like, why you doing me like this? And so we started asking her, like, what's up with this? Why is he bothering us? Like, this is scary. And so she's like, oh, well, I don't know. I don't know how he knows my name. My brother, 'cause she had a lot of siblings. My brother, one of my brothers might know him, and maybe he knows me through my brother, but I don't know him. And her brothers were older than her, and so was this boy. So that was kind of believable, right? Like, oh, maybe he knows your older brother, and he just knows you. So, so she's like, well, I don't know what's going on. So every day we would walk her to the bus stop like, this is scary. Somebody's bothering her. And she would look straight ahead and never speak to him. And she would look like she was mortified. So this boy would just follow us, calling her name. Let's call her Cheryl. So he just like, Cheryl, why you doing this, Cheryl? And we would just be like, oh my God, this is scary. Should we alert we had neighborhood police. Should we alert the neighborhood police? So 11 years later, when we ran into her at this house party, well, she had a house party that we went to. She says, hey, do y'all remember that boy that used to follow me home all the time? And y'all used to be so scared, the gang member boy? And we was like, oh, yeah, I remember, old boy. Yeah, he was strange, boy. She like, girl, I had been fucking that every day. Every day. I had been every day. I used to be letting him get it in, baby. He knew me. I be done just left his house. And, even then, me and my friend were just in shock. Like, wow. And I mean, you gotta keep in mind that when this was initially happening, we were like 16, he was like 20. So we were afraid. We were afraid. We're like, oh my God, my friend's about to be accosted. Girl, just lying. Girl, she was just lying. Everything about her was a lie. And again, we just didn't come from that. Like, we were all really nice kids. We did not come from that. So we just wasn't looking for that. Like, she's out here banging out whole gangs. Yeah, because that's what the truth turned out to be. She's out here banging out whole gangs. And then coming around us, acting like, hi guys. Like it's giving, you know what I'm saying? It was creepy, met creepy. And that's just, it was just creepy. It was just creepy. It was creepy. All of this, to what end? You know what I'm saying? Just living double and triple lives. You're a 16-year-old, you know what I'm saying? And you're living multiple lives. Then we find out that when you go home to your actual community, you're a gang member. When you come to our community, you're like trying to wear skirts and dresses and date the boys. And then after school, you're screwing, whole gangs. And then during the day, you're like dating one of our male friends and talking about you want to marry him. And like, it was just, and then you find out that she was like diagnosed schizophrenic at some point. Well, psychosis at some point. A lot of these things we didn't put together till we were older. Girl, I don't know where she is now. Where she got 5 or 6 kids, she's somewhere. I don't know where that lady is. I have no idea. And I think I know where the majority of my high school friends are. The people I really ran with, I know where they are. Girl, I don't know where she is. Last time I saw her, she was on social media. And she had just let herself go. She had got big, which is extra crazy because she was always like a pencil. And she had 5 or 6 kids. By what I believe is 5 or 6 people. But that's none of my business. Just from the looks of them, it was giving a gaggle of people. It was giving a gaggle. I don't know what happened to her. I don't think she ever even graduated high school. Child, she floated on off into girl. She's in hell, girl. That's where she is. Girl, she's in the flaming pits of hell with the rest of the demons. She alive, I guess. I don't know where she is. And they were all girls. She had all girls. So, and I mean, that's still not everything. But again, we were really nice. We were just sweet. We just didn't consider, we didn't know to be looking for that type of kid. So we weren't looking for that type of kid. And we just embraced her. Like she's not a bad person. Just because you don't have a lot of money doesn't mean you're not a good person. Like, we were completely wrong. We were completely off. Like what we thought was going on and what was going on. And I mean, everybody's parents was like, yo. Everybody's parents was like, hey, I think y'all done went left with this choice. People's older siblings was like, nah. My ex's friends was like, we know her from somewhere else. We was like, where? But see, look, they would never tell us where they knew her from because then they probably have to tell us what their extracurricular activity was. See, I didn't know that either till I didn't peep that till I was like 20. I said, they didn't want to tell her. Y'all, we know her from somewhere else. So me and my friend would be like, well, where y'all know her from? We were so nice. Where you guys know her from? Everybody quiet now. They don't want to talk about that. Now, she not the type of girl y'all should hang out with. What do you mean? We know her from somewhere else. Where? Why is everybody quiet? And nobody, to this day, nobody has ever answered that question. But it was always understood, like, y'all probably shouldn't hang with that person. That person does this, that person does that. How you know that? Where? What you mean? What did she do? Where you see her at? And then nobody give us that tea. But they kept telling us to like fall off from her. And we just wasn't trying to hear that. Like, she was a friend. Like, we really thought that. Like, this is our buddy. Why is everybody trying to break us apart? This is our homie. We're thick. We're a thick crew. We're a good gang. You know what I'm saying? We didn't get it. We all go to lunch together every day. Like, we have the time of our lives together. She's wonderful. And she was a piece of shit. And we had no idea. We had no idea. And, you know, it's unfortunate. It's just unfortunate. But that taught me a lot about demons. It really did. It taught me a lot about people just, you know, being, I mean, I was very young, so there's a lot of things I wasn't familiar with at that time, but it still was a good learning opportunity. Like, just, you know, how far somebody would go to be sleeping with all these people and then lying to the point that somebody's literally following this boy. Now that I'm older, I'm like, yo, oh boy was probably heartbroken. Like, he was following her to the bus stop every day, calling her name like, Cheryl, why is you doing this to me? And whole time we're feeling like, oh my God, we're about to be robbed. This boy feelings was hurt. Especially, you had to think about it. Like, he wasn't horribly attractive, you know, because he had an accident. So he probably thought like, oh, she doesn't want to speak to me in public because I'm unattractive. I get all of that now that I'm older. Like, she's probably like, oh, he's thinking that, you know, so she's actually hurting this young man's feelings. But we thought he was crazy. We thought he was nuts. Like, oh my God, we're being stalked. Someone alert the authorities. But no, he was coming from probably the most sincere. He was more sincere than her. He wanted to know why he wasn't good enough to be spoken to in the light of day. Even though she was going over to the house, right? When we wasn't around, taking a bus in the neighborhood, we thinking she only come when she come to the neighborhood, she come really to my house. She was always with me. Nope. She was doing all types of other stuff. I didn't know nothing about it. It's just a disgrace. It's just a disgrace. Any more questions? It's just a disgrace, child. I don't even know, girl. It's all types of bizarre stuff that just, you know, I just look back at that and I'm just like, wow. It does sound exhausting to live like that, to constantly be plotting and stuff. But you know what I think about that now? I don't think they are plotting. I think they have demons. I think that they are being used. That's why they're not tired. Because for me to sit up all day and think of schemes and lies, and it would be horrible for me. I would be so tired. But if you're just a channel for some other entity to, you know, get to light beings and light energies, you're not doing no thinking. You're not even there. You're not even there. And then I remember, like, if anybody ever read the books, these were good books, the Flowers in the Attic series. So you had the prequel. What was the prequel? What was the prequel, girl? You had Flowers in the Attic. You had Petals on the Wind, Seeds of Yesterday, Let There Be Thorns, and then the sequel, the prequel, which was like, girl, I remember what that prequel was. Anyway, I read all those books in high school. So as I was reading them, they were my mom's books. My mom and grandma, they were avid readers, right? So I read the books. So she liked to read. So I would like read them and I'd let her read them. So she was like all upset about Kathy. And do y'all remember that? Did anybody read Flowers in the Attic, girl? And the doppelgangers, no, the Dollenganger family, Kathy, Corey, Carrie, and Chris. Girl, something happened to Carrie in that book, girl, and she came over my house. I should kill her for how they treated Carrie. I should kill her for, and I was like, she's awfully upset about Carrie. Like, I was talking about, I wish I get my hands on them for how they did Carrie. I'm like, Carrie from page 197? Girl, anyway, girl, we just didn't recognize the signs. We just did not recognize the signs. Girl, we did not recognize the signs. We were sitting there like, she's our friend, girl, that lady. So much stuff was wrong with that lady, girl. All types of stuff was happening. Yes, BC Andrews. My Sweet Andrina is good too. That was another VC Andrews book I read a long time ago. Girl, she was a sad girl. She was punching. I was like, Carrie from Petals on the Wind? Surely you talking about somebody from school. She was talking about, baby, she was talking about Carrie Dolliganger. I was talking about, girl, I don't think we know Carrie like that. They get all fat. I ain't finna whoop nobody ass about Carrie now. Girl, Chris and Kathy have to deal with Carrie. Girl, had to give me a little water. Girl, she was mad. Girl, them books was amazing. They were absolutely amazing. It's a prequel. The prequel about the grandmother. I can't call her name. I can't call the name of the book. It was Garden of Shadows. That was good too. But anywho, so girl, that happened with her. Okay, she was just a whole mess. Yeah, none of the movies sucked. I saw some of the movies on I know Lifetime did a rendition of the movies, which was kind of okay. But the actual movie that went to the show back in, I don't know when it went to the show. It might have been before I was born. I don't even remember. But the old movie, the original one, and it's amazing to me that people can't do that movie well because the story was insane. So how are y'all not able to convey the movie well? That's weird to me. That movie was so lit. How can you miss? But anyway, girl, what else can I tell y'all? Because I done seen some girl, people be crazy as hell out here in these streets. Okay, look. Now I'll give y'all one more on her. So, and then this again, I learned from all of these stories. I mean, these are things that the reason I remember them so vividly is because the Most High I learned a lot about people. And I'm sure most readers and things like that, like when we're called to read, divine and teach and things like that, it has so much to do with the way you experience the world. The spiritual way that you're experiencing the world around you and the way that God uses things and people to teach you lessons. So this is one of those things. I remember a day. She was visiting. We're still in high school now. We're like 17. She was visiting my house. And at this time, this was my girl. Like we used to get in trouble together. We used to run around in the street all day, ripping and running. Y'all remember the movie Juice? Like that was me, her, and we had a couple of other friends. Like we used to rip and run all day. Like we had some great. This is the point in the story where it's troubling, but I can't lie. We had some good times, and they were just adolescent hijinks, except for one person in the crew was Bishop, right? This is Bishop. This is the person in the crew that was disturbed for real. While everybody else was just goofing off, somebody was twisted for real. And that's where she fits into the story. So she comes to my house and she tells me that a girl that we all knew, like she's outside with 4 girls trying to fight me. And I knew it didn't sound right because I knew that girl. This was my neighborhood. Remember, this is where I was raised. So I knew that girl. And I'm like, I can't see little so-and-so cutting up. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't see that for her. So, good to know how they can be. It's absolutely good. It's important to know how they can be. Also, if you are new and you are sitting here for this story time, some of my high school foolishness, please go ahead, subscribe to the channel, do like the video, and also if you would like to donate, you please feel free to, but definitely subscribe, girl. We're here all the time. So she comes to my house and she tells me that something they tried to fight me, and I'm like, I knew it felt off. I'm just like, nah, that don't feel right to me. She like, nah, they did. So I goes back outside with her, knowing that it seems off. I'm like, this seems kind of bananas to me. But okay, let's go see what's up. Let me go see if these girls out here trying to fight. Cause we thought we was little mini thugs. Also, okay, yes, diva supreme. But I'm like, if somebody's trying to fight you, we got to get out here and see what's going on. So girl, We get Southside and can't find the girls nowhere. So we come, which I told you it didn't sound right to me because I'm just like, I know that girl. Like, I've known her. I went to school with the girl's older cousin. Her older cousin was my girl. Like, I was crazy about her. She's still somebody that, you know how you have childhood friends that you just always happy to see? Like, she's still one of those girls to me. Her cousin is. And I knew her, and I'm like, I know the family. Like, I just can't see her trying to fight one of my friends. They're not like that. But she insisted. Now it was her. They tried to run up on me. So we go outside looking for the girls. Couldn't find them. And I'm like, okay, cool. The person, so we come back to my house. The person who was at that time, I guess you could say he was my boyfriend. He was older than me. And quite frankly, he wasn't shit. And I wouldn't be surprised if he was somewhere sneaking and watching this or something like that. He was older than me. He was, girl. I thought I was one of them girls at the time, okay? So I was dealing with somebody that, you know, he thought he was a goon and all that. I was like, I was some Lady in a Tramp type shit, okay? So I had this boyfriend that was, that's another long story. So he goes and finds these girls. No, it was not the girl that she said it was, but there was 4 girls that we had a problem with in school a month earlier, something like that. I mean, maybe 2 months earlier. And so he brings them to my house. Now, why would you bring these girls to my house? So when I come outside, I'm like, what's up? He like, them girls y'all looking for is up the street. No, they're across the street. Why would you bring some girls? I don't care if they was looking for us or not. Why would you bring them to my house? So I was pissed off. So what my friend does, the one that we found out was just like all the way out to lunch, like she takes a bottle, you know, the Mystic bottle the Mystic to drink. She immediately, to this day, I've never seen nothing like this in my life. She immediately, when he says, them girls y'all looking for is across the street, she immediately takes the Mystic bottle, right? She cracks it on the fence and lets out, we like 17, and lets out a battle cry. And takes off running down the street like a samurai soldier. If I'm lying, I'm flying. And I said to myself then, I looked at her, I'm looking at her take off because literally she just took off. So I'm like, wow, right? Because I ain't never been nobody, I'm not finna, you making a fool of yourself. So my boyfriend looks at me and says, you better go help your friend. Now I want y'all to check out the type of spirit that he has. Why would he put me in a position like that? Let's just check out everybody's energy. Why would he do that to me? And I was 17. He was like 20, 21. Yeah, I was one of those. And the young ladies were 14 because they were the little sisters of the girl that she tried to tell me was after her, right? So and I'm 17 going on 18. And me and this girl who was supposedly my friend had the exact same birthday. So we finna be 18. I'm not fighting 14-year-olds anyway. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. So she takes off out into the street and goes to running, right? Just like a wild dog. And she gets in the fight. And the little girl beats her up. Yeah, the little girl beats her up. And that's what should have happened. Because you shouldn't have started that fight with them. You shouldn't have brought this confusion back to my house. You shouldn't have lied to me about what was going on. And you certainly shouldn't have busted some bottle and ran to attack somebody. Who does that? I didn't do anything. I just stood there looking at her. The police were called. She was taken to jail. Her and the little chick. And that little girl whooped her ass. Okay? And she scratched the little girl up some with the little glass bottle. When the police came, baby, they hauled them up out of there. And my boyfriend, it was like, Why you ain't help your friend? I just want you to check out where he's coming from. So while we're sitting there talking, and I'm going off on him, this is hours later. I'm like, you had no right. Like, you shouldn't have done that. My friend's father, I want y'all to listen to this. I want y'all to catch the tea. I want y'all to catch the tea. As ridiculous as this story is, I want y'all to catch the tea. Her father shows up and he says to me, well, my daughter's down at the jailhouse. And I said, I'm so sorry to hear that. And what else was I supposed to say, right? And he says to me, well, I want to know how it is that my daughter's down at the police station, down at the jailhouse, and you sitting here laughing and talking with your boyfriend. Now, first of all, I never called him my boyfriend. And I was like, I don't even want to hear that kind of talk. He's from the other side. That was weird, but he was like from the other side of my neighborhood. Like, it's like, this is stupid, but he lived. I don't know what I thought I was doing, girl. I thought I was dating Beanie Siegel or something. I was tripping. So I'm like, what? How is it that my daughter's down at the jailhouse and you're sitting here with your boyfriend? You know what? As I got older, because I just said, I apologize. I don't know. She got in the fight. I didn't. I'm not finna fight. But, and then my boyfriend, if whatever he was supposed to be, he was sitting there looking scared as hell because I think he realized this girl daddy was feeling some kind of way. But you know what? But you know what? Check this out. If it was my daughter, my question would have been, wait a minute. How in the hell was it possible to stay out of trouble? It must have been possible to stay out of trouble because this kid is sitting here with her boyfriend, allegedly, and my kid is in jail. So I would have went to my kid and said, it was possible to avoid that. Why is she at home and you out here in jail? Are you dumb? What's going on with your values? Let's talk about it. Why did you think it was okay to take this approach when it was obviously possible to take a different route? That would have been my approach. I want to know what was going on in my child's mind that taking the low road was the route you chose, because there was another road to choose because someone chose something else. But her father, look at his values. He wanted to know why I wasn't also in jail. Like, you supposed to be her best friend type of energy. Why is she in jail and you not? I don't do that. I don't do that kind of stuff. You know what I'm talking about? I've never, that's not me. Like, I don't do, that's not my life. It's never been my life getting locked up because I don't do any of that. But her father, instead of saying, well, why your friend had sense enough to sit the nonsense out and you didn't? He asked me why I didn't get in the nonsense with his daughter, just to give you an idea of what kind of household she came out of, right? Because that's bizarre. Number one. Number two, why did my boyfriend bring that type of foolishness to my house? And you know what? Just last year, yeah, I know, right? I talked to that fool. Why? For what? And I said to him, I said, you know, why did you do that? That was disgusting. I never did that. I don't do things like that. I'm not that kind of person. So you see what kind of person he is. This is why he will never, ever be with me, ever. This is why I just like to rewrite history around that dude. Like, that wasn't ever my boyfriend. Y'all imagine that. But that was his response. I don't do things like that. I'm not that kind of person. You don't do things like that. You're not that kind of person, but you did it. So just look at all the players in this story. Just look at all the stuff. And I just think about, you just have to thank God, because when you're young like that and you don't have good sense and you have a light, you have divine energy, you were raised in a godly environment, you were raised to think in a light worker kind of way, And you realize all the different things the devil tried, all the different things, all the different nonsense, all the characters in the story, all the people that were designated to create this or that around you, to create negative energy around you, then to gaslight you. My man said, I don't even do things like that. Do you know how many things like that I can name that that person did just to me alone? He always does stuff like that. When we were kids, running to him in our 20s, he was cutting up. I used to cut up with him. No, I didn't even lie, because you ain't finna do me. But, you know, the important thing is you have to take the lesson. Get the lesson. Because I think, like I said when I started this, I think that anybody that's a divine energy experiences these types of things, right? You experience these types of negative energies. You experience people that just try to come for your life, put you in weird scenarios. And her, after that fight happened, she called me and was like, you set me up. You set me up. How did I set you up? You came to my house and told me about the fight. You watched me get beat up. You got yourself beat up. You did something that was dumb. You did something you shouldn't have done. You did something you shouldn't have done. Why were you doing that? Why were you engaging in violence? Why were you walking around the neighborhood looking for somebody to fight? This ain't even your neighborhood. Well, you stood there and watched me get beat up. You started that fight. You assaulted someone with a glass bottle. She had to defend herself. Why was I supposed to get in that? I don't do things like that. I would never have done that. Was bananas. I would never do anything like that. I couldn't believe I couldn't believe that my boyfriend came down there and said, them girls here, and she just busted a bottle and took off running like a dog. I still can't believe it. And it's been years. I'm still like, did she really do that? Like, and my mom ended up saying to me, like, was someone screaming outside? Like, she, what? Like, who does that? Who does that? And then you want to look at me like, why did you let something happen to me? Are you kidding? Are you joking right now? Why did I let something happen to you? Girl, I know you. I know you lying. You just stood there and let me, girl, I didn't do anything but stay black and live, okay? Because you was trying to annihilate yourself. And what am I? And since we were basically 18 years old, this girl's 14. She's a child. Why are you fighting with her? The little girl from the neighborhood, she was like, girl. Anyway, anybody have anything else? Any questions, any concerns, child? Everybody in that story was just, and I'm just glad I made it out, because, girl, and the man comes to tell me, you sitting out here with your boyfriend. My damn boyfriend. This boy is grown sucker coming out here bringing this foolishness to my mama house. Talking about them girls down there. Who boyfriend is he? He's not even my friend. So I had to figure that out. Took me long enough. And to this day, I don't do stuff like, I'm not that kind of person. You cause all types of problems. Okay? You cause a lot of problems. Well, I'm not that kind of person. Yes, you are. You are that kind of person. You dirtbag. And I told him that to his face. Girl, I do whatever I want to do. I do all the witchcraft I want to do. Okay? Get your ass out of here. That's what you do. And see, people know they want to tell you how to run your life. You're going to come on somebody else's podcast, YouTube, tarot reading, talking about how you feel. Girl, feel these nuts. That seemed like the right thing to say. Anyway, yes, child. I have lived. Who boyfriend in jail? Girl, no. They should have put my boyfriend in there and come down there bringing that shit to my door. Talking about them girls is all sad. I still should beat his ass for that. But I told him. I sure did. I'm like, you're a very rotten person for that. I'm never gonna let that go. They'll try to gaslight and act like, girl, that they're not that kind of person. I don't do. He actually said that I don't do. I've never been the type of person to do things like that. My ex was living a double life. He had a whole nother situation up the street. Now I mean, it was just it was a shit show. It was a mess. And he sat there and would try to tell me, oh, I'm not that type of person. Are you kidding me? And it's 20 something years later, you're still trying to figure out how to get back in a relationship with me. You're still a two-timer and a liar. And now on top of everything else, you finna try to rewrite events. Because a narcissist will rewrite the hell out of an event. But I think I just was really trying to be, I don't know. Younger, you younger, like you want to be in the excitement. And, I just was out here clowning. Girl gonna come in here talking about how she feel. Girl, everybody feel away. Don't make no sense. All right. Anybody got any questions? So we know she, girl. To this day, I've never had a friend that was just. I don't even know how she got like that. I really don't. I don't even know how she got like that. And my ex, if you want to call him that, I know how he got like that. He just wasn't shit. And still whack to this day. Still lying. I'm not doing any we're not doing any readings. Readings tonight. We're just chilling. We're just doing a little story reading. We did the reading already. And now we was just doing a little story time and kind of laughing and kikiing, but also kind of looking at the deeper spiritual lessons of just a few little moments in my life when I was young, teenage moments in my life that, though some of them were quite funny, there were still some deeper things at play that had to be considered. Where'd a girl go to try to tell me how to live my life? Yeah, she probably went back over there to some Christian message board and talking about how she had an encounter with the devil. Oh, y'all know I'll be laughing. I will laugh at everything and nothing. Oh, that tickled me. So yeah, y'all, that's what happened. She was sneaking around with boys in the neighborhood, and I remember my mom told me when she was a kid there was a girl that was taking birth control pills, and she was lying, telling them that they were vitamins. The same thing. Her mother was like, we didn't know any better. We believed her. And I guess sometimes when girls are like young and they're promiscuous and maybe they feel like the girls around them aren't like that, they think they should just go to lying. Like they just make up a story or say they're not really doing it. So maybe that's what it was. Girl, where's y'all at? Why is y'all just sitting here staring at me? Do anybody have anything? Or are we done? Are we finished or are we done? Where's that girl at? I know she probably telling people, girl. She probably said she seen the devil and everything. Girl, where'd she go, girl? She ran off. Girl, she ran over CC wearing his house, girl. Girl, she done ran off. Oh, bless her soul. Yeah, because it's a weird thing to say, but it's really true. When you start seeing people that have not, when you start seeing people that have not learned a lot of lessons yet, older, it's tough. To watch them go through that when they're just now kind of realizing, everybody just is not who they say they are. And they're, much older, and it's hurtful. So to see friends go through that hurt later in life, because I do have a couple of friends like that, and it's like they've had a really charmed existence. God bless them, and they didn't have to deal with uh certain kind of things. I just happen to deal with a lot of things. I dealt with a lot of things younger, and I think that I think that the path, like I said, I think the path for readers or for teachers, and I think that it's almost imperative that you get confronted with a lot of wisdom and life lessons early. It's part of what's going to make you what you are, what you are called to be. But um, you know, all right, y'all. Y'all ain't got nothing else. Ain't nobody got no spiritual questions. Nothing. Last call. Last call. Got a relationship coach out here ghosting people? Hmm. I don't think I like the sound of that. That feel very girl. You tell girl, girl. Don't do his following know he be ghosting. How you a relationship coach and you a ghost? Oh no, girl. I don't think that. I don't like that. That sound like he working backwards. When you pray and ask God what to do with them, are they prophetic or are they you know, you have to pray and ask God what to do with those visions so that you know what I'm saying, how he wants you to proceed. Yeah, girl, right. That's deep. How the coach a ghost. That's an oxymoron. All right, y'all. Let me go on here, go to bed, girl. We done had some little fun story time, girl. I done went down memory lane, girl. Girl. Strange people out there. Strange things. That's still one of that particular girl. Like I said, if I think about it long enough, there's probably more. But just somebody definitely experience an experience you have in your life that you don't forget. Very strange. Very strange. Um, strange person. But all right, y'all. Let me go and get up on up out of here, girl. Girl, we didn't painted the town red. Um, maybe we'll go live again. I see if we go live again Monday night or Tuesday, sometime Tuesday. Oh yeah, girl. Watch the replay, girl. We did a lot of little story time, girl. I said, let me sit up here and chat with the peoples. I usually don't tell no stories, girl. So let me tell y'all some of this wow shit that's done happened to me in my 20 years. 20 years. Okay, y'all believe that or don't. Oh yeah, I enjoy y'all too, girl. But all right, y'all. Hit that replay. Again, yeah, girl, we outside. Don't forget to subscribe if you are new and you just been hanging out with us for the first time. Please do subscribe. If y'all want more story times, just let me know. I don't know. I probably got a lot of crazy stories though, to be honest. But at the end of the day, like I said, even with this, it's always something to learn. All of these things played a part in my spiritual journey and helping me to kind of understand things. And I was always kind of open to people. So I was always that kind of person, open in that I would hang with people from any walk of life. I didn't care. Like I had hood friends, I had upscale friends, I had bougie friends, I had white friends, I had Middle Eastern friends, I had adopted friends, I had, gang banging friends. I always was open to people and curious. Like I wanted to know about people. So I didn't shun a lot of people. Sometimes I look back and I'm like, man, maybe I should have shunned them. But in hindsight, I learned a lot of lessons because I always was open to people. Just like, what's your story? Who are you? What's up? Especially when I was younger, it was like I was a little wild. So it was like, let's have fun, let's get out here. And I got to experience a lot of different types of folks and people, and and so I think as I aged, it was a blessing because I got a lot of lessons really fast. I saw a lot of things. So it's funny how the Most High chooses to teach us things. So, um, yeah. But all right, y'all. Look, at people still filing in, girl. If you blowing through, watch the replay and subscribe, girl. Subscribe. I would love to have you, sister, or bro, whoever you is. But I holla. Good night, y'all.